Yeah, we are live now. Hello, good evening, everyone. We'll wait for a few more
Good
minutes
evening,
so that people
everyone.
can join.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so from YouTube, we are getting the count, but from LinkedIn, I have to quickly check. Yeah, people are joining in.
Great.
Just a couple of more minutes.
Shiv, do you have the link to join others? So
Yeah, so this is live event, so people can come to the link that you have posted and they can directly join. Do you want to share the link? I can give you the link as well.
yeah, you can share me. Yeah, thank you.
Seems like some of the people are thinking with that link that you shared. They are joining in this meeting itself. I'm seeing
Yeah.
somebody has joined uh, in Restream.
Okay.
All right, then let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Once again, you're watching OT Security Huddle, and this is the 17th episode of the series. Today, we have a very focused discussion on the skills for successful cybersecurity career. This is one of the most asked question which we get either on LinkedIn or with the forums that we are participating or connected on, and it becomes one of the key important focus areas for the people who are transitioning into cybersecurity career. That what should be the skill that they do possess across different roles. So joining me today is Prab Nair. You might all know him with his presence online. He is very good content influence on cybersecurity. He have very good presence on LinkedIn, close to 100,000 followers, and he also have very good presence on YouTube. And generally, I see that he has been giving content across different skills of cybersecurity. I guess most more than uh, 50, 60,000 people would have attended your course by now, bro. Right? Across different locations and maybe in live classrooms as well as the online content that you have been doing. So before we begin, a formal disclaimer that whatever we are discussing here is out of personal passion. OT Security Huddle is one of them. The opinions are our personal. Please don't construe them as the opinions of the organizations we are associated with. So this is our guest, Prab. Thank you, Prab, for taking time, putting up this topic with me, and then spending time over the week, and today also taking time from your busy schedule to discuss this very important topic. In fact, the suggestion of the topic is coming from you, with your experience that you have felt that people still require this kind of guidance and suggestion. How can they get transition into a successful cybersecurity career? So yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, Shiv. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the brief introduction, and it is really honor for me to be in the OT Security Huddle. I'm also one of the fan of this conference, of one of your podcasts you do guys on OT security, and it is a very good initiative you guys have started, especially in OT security. And we'll really feel proud to see something has started from India discussing about OT security and other stuff. And glad you have gave us an opportunity to present the facts about the cybersecurity career, which we're going to discuss in this particular podcast. We're going to cover a lot of myths and facts which is required for the freshers, experience who want to make a career in
No,
cybersecurity.
yeah, I'm also equally excited to get those insights for me as well. Yeah, you have a lot more experience in terms of interacting with people. And yeah, OT Security Huddle is the platform for people who are influencers and want to share some knowledge with the people, which we have gained as experience over the year. So without further ado, let's see what we are going to discuss. This slide deck is pretty simple. This will be the guiding point, but we will mostly be talking about the experience that we have gained and the successful uh, perspectives of the skills that we should possess in a cybersecurity career. We'll see how the career looks like in cybersecurity, just on high level. Then we quickly will see what are the skills that you require on both sides, the soft skill, the technical skill. Then a bit on what does it mean to have the skill versus knowledge versus expertise. Then few challenges that the freshers might face in transitioning into cybersecurity, how they can overcome, and finally we'll spare some time for the questions. So this is the thought coming from Prab, and this says that skills can be learned, but thinking can't. So what is the story behind this, Prab?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for Shiv sharing this perspective about skill and thinking. And those who have watching this particular podcast live and all that. So I want to tell one important thing is that you should be very clear about three things here: skill, knowledge, and your proficiency. So before I want to start this session on this career of podcast on cybersecurity, I want to start with this definition first. So the knowledge that you gain, okay, from your training, from your experience, so that is called as a knowledge. That knowledge basically help you to enhance your skills. But how much you rate yourself on a skill, so that is called as a proficiency here, Shiv. Okay, that's why I say when it comes to cybersecurity, especially cybersecurity, GRC, and all that, we're going to cover that part. You can learn skill, no doubt. Skill can be delivered through the with the help of trainer or with the help of experience and all that. But the most important thing which is required for the survival is called your critical thinking. Okay, because critical thinking is something it's come from your efforts. No one can teach you critical thinking. You have to build it. So in cybersecurity, if you want to survive, critical thinking is the most important part. Those who are watching this video right now, please, definitely knowledge is important, but critical thinking is more important when it comes to cybersecurity because you are here to fix the problem. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shiv. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
cybersecurity is
Absolutely.
all about detect and prevent, right? And you can only able to detect if you know the critical thinking, right?
Yes, yes. It's
Now, another important thing, Shiv, we have a lot of myth around cybersecurity equal to pen testing, cybersecurity equal to SOC, but there is a things beyond cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is part of information security. So information security, if I take example, this is the mobile. Okay, so mobile is basically have a digital data protect with the digital password, that is part of cybersecurity. But I'm keeping the phone in locker and I want to lock as part of our information security because it's going to protect all type of assets, physical, tangible, and all that. So when it comes to information security as a career, we have a multiple verticals. So we have a offensive security, in which we talk about pen testing. Okay, we talk about application security testing. Okay, then it went into now we have a source code review, secure codings. Okay, then you move to the defensive side. In defensive, we have a blue teaming. Okay, we have a SOC analyst. Then now we have a new profile is coming, which is called as a SOC detection engineering. Okay, then third is basically called as a infosec GRC, where you assess the risk, creating a processes. Okay, and then now we have a OT security, where we're talking about infrastructure security and all that. And now new is coming is like a TPRM and all that. So information security is not limited to only offensive and defensive. Now things are going beyond that. So what you see in last 10 years, the things got changed when it comes to cybersecurity, information security. Okay, so Shiv, I believe when we used to when we entered into the cybersecurity 10 years back, okay, you get the CEH and you get the first job in pen testing. But today the competition is different. So my humble request, at least to the freshers, okay, my humble request, at least to the freshers who want to make a career in cybersecurity, spend time on all these verticals, understand which vertical is suits you, because here it's not about you are here for 1 year. You have to spend your experience, you have to spend your time on that particular vertical for next one year, for 10 year 20 years. So that is only possible when you love that particular things. So that's my first fundamental thing. Second thing is that one of the question has been developed is how to develop the critical thinking with respect to cybersecurity. It come with the reading. I believe reading. And for reading, you need to build the concept of boredom. Boredom basically mean you know now when we are bored, we watch Insta reels. When we are bored, we play songs. Okay, so when you don't have anything with you, that time you develop your critical thinking, because when you ask yourself, okay, let's take example is today I was working on one incident. Okay, so incident was I was restarting. So let's take example of recent issue where we have a global outage. Everyone talking about the thought process. So now I got I got into it. I was checking Reddit. I was checking Google. So whatever the information was there on Google and Reddit, based on that, I influenced my
Mhm.
behavior. It influenced my decision. So, but instead of that, I was thinking myself, okay, what is the reason the system got restart? Okay, then I read about what is the parameters which make the system restart. So I was the first one who basically prepared the long post on LinkedIn on the crowd side, and it got 450 repost. Then I made a short video also. And later on, if you see the CrowdStrike root cause and all, they talk about same thing. So reading is the most important part to develop the critical thinking, and that is
Yeah.
something is missing nowadays in the freshers. Second thing is that when it comes to cybersecurity, second important thing I want to tell everyone is don't make a don't become a jack of a particular or master of a tool. Okay, now let's say example, Shiv and me is a pen tester. We're doing a assessment of the OT industry, OT servers or OT machines and all that. We got a tool Nmap. We enter the IP and we do the scan. Array, let's understand what is the concept behind that you are able to get the result about open ports. Okay, we send the SYN packet. The port was open. They send the SYN back. But today, if you talk about the freshers, they have a zero visibility on that. What they're doing is instead of learning the concept how things works, they simply go to YouTube and search how to do the scanning of a system. And they exactly follow the step-by-step process which is mentioned in the video, but they don't try to understand what is the logic behind that scanning is happening, what is the reason behind this vulnerability is there, what is the reason behind how to discover the port. So here this all are part of critical thinking, and that only comes when you clear with the concepts.
Yeah, very valid point, Prab. Yeah, we'll dig more on this skill part and the knowledge part, and also getting more with the conceptual part. But yeah, just to set the context that why we are doing it, like there is a growing demand of cybersecurity across the globe. And if I see this just one report which was released like 2 months ago or 1 month ago itself by Fortinet, it says that currently there is around 4 million workforce deficit in cybersecurity itself. And as you mentioned, your first starting point itself was that people do correlate cybersecurity as either pen testing or ethical hacking. These are the only two domains which are understood. But there is much more towards cybersecurity's different roles and the job satisfaction, and also the pay packages are much more diverse also in cybersecurity domains. There is always a deficit of good architects. There is always a deficit of governance guys as well. So don't just go into this a highly fashionable domain where you just wear the badge of hacker and then people will start following you. But yeah, there is much more to the cybersecurity. As you mentioned, that the core of cybersecurity is protecting the data, and it requires much more than just the testing comes a lot later. And before this, we start with the designing process, implementing process, coding process, and all those things. So always it's better that you just first uh, map those different requirements in cybersecurity, and also map what is best suitable for you, then only you jump inside this cybersecurity domain.
I
So
completely agree
having said
with
that,
this point what
yeah,
you said. Yeah,
yes. So let's get into the technical side of the skill, what kind of a skill you would require. But I would also like to touch upon the one point that you touched about Nmap. So I very often get asked about this question, that what are the Nmap commands that we use for OT security testing? Though a question looks very obvious that people really want to understand what kind of commands that they should use, but the answer itself, they know the answer itself. If they really see what are the different commands and switches available in network and map, and what is the activity they are doing behind that particular scan, that's also available in Nmap. There are some switches which you can see what kind of packets are sent, what is the reason that nmap is saying when a particular port is open. If you are initially in your career using those additional switches, it will give you much more clarity about how this uh, port three-way handshake works, how these udp ports work, how these different protocols or communication packets do work. Use these basic tools like wireshark and map and the network level understanding. So yeah, I would hand over to you over here. Like you have put up a post also sometime back. What are the essential skills across different roles in cybersecurity? And I see the key theme across all of them is at least understanding the basics of cybersecurity, which starts with networking and the system. So yeah, what would you like to add here? Why these skills are necessary?
My humble request with these two hands to all the freshers and all the people who uh, um, you know watching this particular podcast. Definitely, I think Shiv is going to be record this session and people can watch later also. That's a different story. So my humble request with the bottom of hand and all that, when you're talking about cybersecurity, okay, no matter you are moving in the offensive security, you are moving in the defensive security, you are doing GRC, or you're doing OT security, I believe basic things are always there. Okay, so when we're talking about basic things, like you should be familiar with the networking. That's the most important part, actually, Shiv. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry to say that, recently I have encountered a lot of interview questions, and I've seen a lot of comments on YouTube regarding Prab. I failed in this exam because I was not familiar with the protocol. Everyone knows DNS is a protocol, but they don't know how the DNS work. Arey yaar, if you don't know how DNS work, you cannot able to perform any kind of an attack against the DNS server. If you don't know how the DNS work, you cannot able to do threat hunting against the DNS servers. Okay. So if you take example of defensive, you're hunting for IOCs. You should know how the DNS works. So until unless you don't know how it works, it doesn't make sense. So how the packet move, okay, from all the seven layer, you need to have understanding of that. OSI is the base to understand the network and communication. So for them, I highly recommend to review the book called Data Communication. I believe Shiv, you also familiar with that book. It is a book normally refer in the BTech and BCA, and it is an
yeah,
excellent book to start. I'm not telling you watch any YouTube video, because different influencers basically talk about different aspect of OSI. Even don't watch my OSI video. Okay, but I highly recommend to start your fundamentals with the known author, which is called as a Dr. Frozen. So Frozen is basically the most important author we have, who basically wrote a data communication book. Refer that book, get the basic done. You are not in any rat race. You are not in any rat race that you have to jump into cybersecurity in next 5 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shiv. So network and
absolutely.
communication, even you spend 2 hours a day and 4 hours a weekend, in the next 1 month you can able to complete the Frozen book. And when you read the Frozen book, amazing book, yeah, matlab, it will clear a lot of doubts. Okay, so first is basically the most important part is be familiar with networking and communication. Second is pick one operating system. Start with Windows. No, I'm a hacker, I will be fond of Linux and all that. No, start with Windows. It's okay. Get the things, get familiar with the Windows, how Windows work. Okay. So Windows is basically very important. You need to have very good understanding about Windows operating systems. Okay, registries, policies, account lockout. You must be familiar with that. That's the most important part. Once you have that, then you will basically try to learn the security as a concept. And I highly recommend to everyone is check the CompShare Security Plus content. I'm not telling you you have to attend the CompShare Security Plus content. You can check. Go through those content. ChatGPT is there, Google Bard is there, a lot of YouTube videos are there, and then get your basics clear. I'm not telling you directly jump to hacking, or I'm not telling you directly jump to the defensive side. First, your 3 months will be based on this thing. So here you build the foundation. Is it clear? So that's the most. That's why whenever talking about cybersecurity, which is called offensive, defensive, GRC, these are the basic things required. Now let's take an example of GRC. So in the GRC, when you're in the audit, what are you auditing? You're auditing the infrastructure, which include OS. So until unless you don't know the OS, how you do the audit? You're doing a risk assessment against the server. Until unless you don't know about the OS and all that, you can't able to do the things. So it's very important. Okay, that's very important that you need to have a clarity on the networking system and clarity on the OS, network protocols, and all that. That's why I said three things are basically required for you to understand network communication, operating systems, and your security tools or security concepts. Yeah.
It's a very, very valid point. Yeah, in fact, what happens is like sometimes when you are not aware of how things actually work inside, then you are dependent more on the tool without even knowing what the tool is doing. You'll just start the scan and then just use the result which the tool is giving. And sometimes you need to put the context with the results as well. The examples could be like, let's take an example of SSL vulnerability. If you are
Hmm.
using a Windows 7 system, you will ought to have a SSL vulnerability. But how significant the vulnerability is in an OT system is completely different. You might not even have the use of SSL. You can simply go and then disable. Whereas if you use this tools like vulnerability sessions like Nessus or maybe some other tool, they will always show this vulnerability as a high vulnerability, but it's having very less risk. So understanding the system and the context of the system is very much important, apart from understanding how the system is behaving and the networking part is working. So very, very valid point and very good point here for adding here. So apart from the technical skills, there is also requirement of soft skill in
I
cybersecurity
agree.
career. Yeah, and sometimes what I feel is like you might get a very good job done in terms of your technical part, and if you are not good in communicating what you have done, it's useless for the people who are the stakeholder. The management understands the language in very simple terms with absolute no jargons. They should be made aware of the risk that the system is possessing when you are doing the assessment or designing the secure architecture, and also needs to make a business case. And this would require effective communication, the ability to talk with different kind of people, different teams, different cultures sometimes, and also engaging with cross-functional teams. Like you need to talk to the security architects, the software architects, software developers as well. Sometimes you need to talk with the corporate risk manager. If you are talking to or working for a OT system, then you might also need to talk with the physical security guy, the safety guys, so on and so forth. Then, of course, these teamwork, problem solving are another skill. You have given one example about the recent global outage. How would you solve that problem if there is no information available? What are your resources that you will reach out to? How would you correlate that additional information with your basic understanding of the system is much more important. And that's why we put the technical skill first, that you put your foundation very strong, and then you add on the skills that are required to analyze that information in a way which is giving you a successful result. Over to you, Prabhu. What would you like to add here?
Definitely, I've seen. Forget about others. Myself is a victim of this soft skills. I used so in 2012, 13 when I used to have a CISSP and CSAM and other pen testing certifications. I face some interview questions in a Big Four, and I got rejected because of my communication skills. So, team, no matter, see, now things got changed. It's also depending upon on what profile you are joining. Okay, but in some cases, even you have a great technical skills, you have a great hands-on skills on the offensive and defensive and GRC. But if you could not able to express yourself in an effective manner, then it will not work. And second thing is that uh, by hook and crook you join the company. Okay, your nature, your characteristics also really matter of your survival in the company. You join, you are introvert, you're not learning something, you are just doing a politics. I want to be very upfront here because this something is a common thing happen in the company nowadays. Moonlighting or
Yeah,
simply using chat gpt for everything. Chat gpt is not a solution. So you need to build that problem solving skills. You need to ask yourself, okay, today I face this issue where the service interruption was there, drivers unable to install, how I'm going to solve this. Now what happened is simply you go to chat gpt, enter the prompt, and we get the reply. This is not build your critical thinking. This is not building your problem solving skills. You are creating one dependency, because not chat gpt is just like a drug for you. Without that you can't survive. So you have to use Google, you have to use resources, and you have to ask yourself, okay, if I'm in this situation, how I'm going to solve this. I will give one recent example which I've seen is, so I was investigating one of the incidents where there was a lateral movement, and the intruder was able to penetrate, and they have access to the series of systems, and then they have access to the domain controller system. So He cleared all the logs and everything. So now what happened is how we validate. So what we did is we investigated the window vault logs. We have investigated the system drivers functions. What was the last access fields and all that, and then be able to find that, okay, what is the origin of the attack? What was the last system they have attacked? So if I just simply go to chat gpt and enter this prompt and get the things, I only get a one standard reply. So that will not build my problem solving skills. So this is what we have to. So we got some problem, we have to solve it. That's our primary role as a cybersecurity professional. So that's something you have to do. Now one of the viewer has commenting is that, okay bro, we can have a tribe of hacker. Amazing, that's what I'm telling you. I'm talking about it foundation. You have not cleared the foundation and you're reading some core technical book, does not make sense. Okay, Prab has read 7 books, Shiv has read 8 books. I will also read this book. No, we have read the basics. That's why we're reading this. So
Yeah,
please, 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 LinkedIn for you is basically sometimes become a negative because you get influenced with other people, what they're doing. Everyone has their own story. It's not necessary
yeah,
Prab is showing you the real story or Shiv is showing a real story. Okay, we have our own life, we have our own problems, we have our own skill set. You have a life, you have, so don't get influenced from us.
yeah, yeah.
That okay, Prab is
Yes.
working 24 hours, I will also work 24 hours. So everyone has their own requirement, and according to that we have to build. So but most important thing, how you speak. Even today I sometimes struggle with my English. Always get a lot of comments on the YouTube, Prab, your grammars are bad. But okay, I'm learning, I'm improving. So it's only thing is that you come with the practice. So that's why we say effective communication skills, problem solving, teamwork is the most important part that we need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is very valid point. Like we often get this discussion done that you may not be necessarily good in one particular language. Effective communication is language agnostic. You can still communicate what you really want to mean with maybe absolutely no jargon, simple words. You need not to have very high vocabulary. Rightly said about that. But I would also like to share my experience of CISSP here. It actually relates to what you have explained in the previous slide about technical skills, why you need to read books and how it can help you. So, my journey of CISSP is actually 12 years long if you see it in entirety. I first started about back in 2009 or 10 ish. First found that there is something called a CISSP, and I took printout of all these 10 domains that time. Now it has 8 domains, and I used
Hmm.
to read
Like
those books
cryptography.
initially. Yeah.
We used to have one dedicated
so
domain for
so
cryptography.
yes, so I would start with that reading, and then I'll get bored, and then I'll close it. So even though I will have all the 10 books of 10 modules, I would hardly read one or two, or the one which I am interested in. So this has happened every 2 year 3 years, and I never was successful to reach to the stage that I'm confident to actually attempt this exam. But back in 2022, yeah, 22 is when, or 21, yeah, I cleared it in 21. So what happened is I put the target that next 1 month I'll be going to finish CISSP. So I sat for this every day, 4 hours, and my strategy was to fill the knowledge gaps, not to read the literature from A to G, just fill the knowledge gaps. So I started with the questions, and then I started with filling those knowledge gaps. But why I am mentioning this story is the one outcome apart from getting the certification is actually getting an organized knowledge inside your brain. So now I'm much more organized with cybersecurity domains, though I had this knowledge available, and that is why the importance of book is there. Books will give you an organized knowledge that is generally not available with reading here and there. Those blogs are really good, but you need to have the baseline understanding. You need to contextualize that particular knowledge. The same example of this outage, you would need to relate why this particular folder is important for that connection, why there is this port and why there is the sockets and these pipes which are there, why they are important for communication. So that will all be happening when you have that background knowledge available, and books actually help you understanding those aspects of your skills. And number of books are available, but yeah, choose your books also wisely. The
Hmm.
books which are important for your career, read them first. Of course you can always read and gain some knowledge, but yeah, there is one skill that you should aspire for, or specifically focus for in cybersecurity, and then you can actually broaden your horizon into multiple domains. That's how you will get more success in cybersecurity careers.
I want to add the last statement. I'm sorry, Shiv, I'm dragging this session, but I always get kind of a super excited when it comes to the cybersecurity career podcast. So, so team, I want to tell you something. The our mind, okay, our thought process got changed in last 10 years, especially after COVID, where you know we are think we are living in more digital kind of life. So we are collecting more digital content. So my humble request is, if you're planning to talk about learning and all that, I will give an example. So I did my CISSP, CISM, and CISA, whatever it is there. Okay, now what I'm doing. So example, like I'm learning now CISO skill set. Example. So when I'm planning to start, okay, CISO skill set, I will create my next 6 months plan. Okay, it's a very good framework I'm going to share with everyone, so it can be very good for the all the freshers. So I have created a CISO. I'm planning for a CISO program example, or I want to enhance my knowledge on the CISO area. Okay, so what I did here is I basically pen down. Okay, I want to learn CISO, or I want to learn the CISO leaderships and all that. Okay. Second step is basically so I created one in CISO lead. Okay, what is the skill as required to become a good CISO? This is I'm talking about the last 1 year which I'm doing. Okay, I want to learn strategic thinkings. I want to talking about strategic thinkings. I want to learn about unit of economics. I want to learn risk assessment. I want to learn metrics and all that. So I divided that activity into small tasks. Okay, now I have a 5 task I have to complete for CISO. Now, what I need to learn, I will pen down that. What I need to stop, I will pen down that. Okay, what is my desire state? And last is what is the challenge with this learning? So when I'm clear with this particular activity, it save my time. And I will plan my activity every evening shift, what I want to do next
Yeah.
day. Okay. So you should be clear with what is the next 6 months plan. So freshers who want to make a career in cybersecurity, or the IT people who want to make a career in cybersecurity, you can create such kind of framework. Okay. What I'm doing, okay, what I need to stop, what I need to start, okay, and what I need to continue. So this kind of a things you can make a framework, so it give you visibility. Okay, I know IT, I have to stop the IT. I want to work on cybersecurity. I'm very good with CIA, I have to stop that. I have to focus on this area. So by this kind of an activity you can able to save your time, and you can be focused on those particular things. That's the most important part.
No, very, very valid point. So while you were speaking, I was going through the comments to check for questions, but seems like we don't have a good day today. There is problem with restream buffering, and lot
Okay.
of people are dropping because there is continuously connection issues. So let's see if we have some question. But before that, let's get into the next topic.
Yeah, there was a one question was there, how do you rate try hack me? It's a very good question
Yeah,
has been raised that on the try hack me is. So guys, like I highly recommend, if you're planning to start a career in pen testing, example, or offensive security, instead of spending huge money in the training, I would recommend you to start with this try hack me and all that, because these are basically coming with a very least cost subscription. You can do the experiment easily, right, Shiv, in such kind of
yeah,
a platform. Enhance your skills on that particular area, get validate those things, okay, and then you can basically, when you get the clarity, okay, this is what pen testing, this is what, then you can go for the training or do the self study. But don't directly start with the training here. That's a please humble request. Don't start directly with the training, because if you start directly with the training, then it will not work. Okay, so that's what I'm telling you.
absolutely.
Start with try hack me, hack the box. It's a very basic investments. Here you can take a lot of risk. Get get things done on that particular platform. Then at one point in time you will accumulate with a lot of doubts, and then enroll in the training program. Before enrolling in any training program, because it's not a small cost, $1,000, $2,000 is a cost for the trainings programs. Ask the instructor, ask your query first before enrolling in the program. Make sure you're investing in the right training company. So that's something you can try. And people are not doing the shift actually. Okay, Shiv told him, or Prab told him pen testing is a good, they simply enroll in the program. And they
Yeah,
sit with a empty mind. Okay, yes, whatever the instructor is teaching is a good teaching. Are first, your basic should be get clear. Okay, this is how pen testing work. This is the thing you have already seen the platform. So now when the instructor trying to explain, you can save time. You will not going to discuss the basics. Now you're going to discuss the next level, because you already have a basic understanding. So it's good to start pen testing with the try hack me, hack the box. I will recommend you to start with the try hack me, because try hack me is a structured process. They give you everything, concept and all that, and then advanced level you can do with the hack the box. And if you're planning for OSCP and all that, definitely Hack the Box labs can really help you to crack your OSCP also, because Hack the Box also have their own certification, CTP and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, very well said. Yeah, these boxes will give you both benefits, understanding of the tools, and also that analytical thinking out of the box. That where should I go to find that particular flag? Yeah, so there is one comment about one particular book, Read Tribes of
Yeah,
Hackers.
try.
This will
Yeah,
help
it's a very
in
good book.
gaining critical thinking. Yeah, so
Yeah,
this
because
is
it is
I
basically maintained by the multiple. I read this book and it's a very good book. So here the viewpoint has been given by the multiple experienced peoples about their viewpoint about hacking, cybersecurity, and all that. It's a very good book. Again, everyone talk about different book, but as I said before, finalize any book, you should ask yourself, is this book is relevant? And one more important thing, Shiv, I thank sorry for extending this. I've seen a lot of freshers what they do. If I'm doing a webinar, they will join my webinar. Okay, if someone
yeah,
is doing a webinar, join the webinar. First of all, you need to ask yourself, is this webinar useful for me? I'm in the path. I
yes,
want to upgrade my things on pen testing. Someone is doing a webinar on some DOS security. Or is that DOS security is webinar relevant for me? Because unnecessary content when you consume, you get exhausted. Be clear. Okay,
absolutely.
my 6 months plan.
Yeah.
Anything related to this? So okay, this webinar cybersecurity is related to my things. I'm joining that. That makes sense. But if you're attending any random webinars which is not relevant to you just for a certificate, don't do that. Be
And this
specific
is
about the
very,
timeline. Yeah.
very valid point. Something which is freely available, then it's not valued, and people do think that yeah, it will be helpful, but that would be waste of time. You can actually concentrate on something which is really helpful. You can actually watch a movie and utilize your time better rather than joining a free webinar, which is of no use to.
But
Yeah.
Shiv, I
So
want to ask one question from every all the participants who watching this podcast right now, and dear team, please share your comments in this portal. Is how many of you are struggling with rejection of experience? Like you applying for the C, you applying for a job, and HR simply say that you don't have experience. How many of you are facing the same issue? Please share your suggestion in the comment box. Please share your viewpoint in the comment box. Prab, I applied the CV, I applied the job, and then later what happened? The company has reject my CV because I don't have experience. How many of you here in this batch, in this batch, I say in this podcast, facing the same issue?
yeah, that's coming from your classes. Yeah, that sentence is much more years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many of you basically struggle with this? So Shiv, we're going to discuss that point also before we wind up. Okay.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I anticipate that there would not be much of the questions because of the buffering issue with the
Yeah.
restream. But yeah, definitely we'll cover that. But let's first finish this. How do I then start to get my first job? What should be my target?
Mm.
Okay, so my 2 cents here is like, as we mentioned, that across the spectrum of cybersecurity, there are n numbers of role available. It's very important that you first identify which is the role that you want to get into. I've seen some practical experiences. Sometimes the freshers get excited about cybersecurity. They would join this job, and over the time, they would not be able to fulfill the requirement of the job, and within 1 year or 6 months they have to drop off from that company. These kind of examples do exist. I have seen them practically. It's very important that you first align with the topic. Are you interested in security testing? Then get into the career path of penetration testing or ethical hacking. If you are interested in analytical thinker, or maybe you have a very good understanding of governance, then you can get into a governance role, designing the policy procedures. If you are very good in talking to people, then you can actually adopt the consulting role, where you define much more structure to the overall cybersecurity program for the organization. If you feel that you are very good in software security, software part, then there are roles like DevSecOps, there are roles like secure code reviews. These are the specialized skills, very lucrative jobs, very well paid. If you feel that you are understanding with the core aspects of security like cryptography, designing a new product, the hardware level understanding, the embedded part of these systems, the chip level understanding, then there do exist a number of options of roles. In fact, these kind of roles are more in demand now. Specifically, we are using chips now everywhere. The IoT, industrial IoT, or automotive vehicles, everywhere we have chips available now. So there is demand of people who understand the security of the chips a lot. So then I'll hand over to you, Prab, that what would be the guiding factor for the people when they are starting their first job apart from targeting the role?
Security start with keep it simple.
Yeah.
Security is basically start with keep it simple. Okay, but that is not happening right now in the industry. Shiv is doing a great work. OT security. Let me make a career
Yeah.
in OT security. Prab is basically teaching CISSP. Is basically into GRC. Let me learn GRC. Shiv. Just 2 days back, I had a 2 3 calls with some of my customer because I do a lot of mentoring sessions when I get a time and it's free, not on third party platform to collect the money of 1 hour and charge for that. So I ask the question, Prab, I am in an incident management. I want to move to GRC. Okay, fine, great. Is it your passion? No, no, no. My friend told me GRC basically have a 9 to 5 job. Prab, I want to do CISSP. Okay, then what is experience? I don't have experience. I want to do CISSP. Why? Because my cousin, my friend is basically CISSP and he was earning up to $3,000 per month. Fine. Prab, I want to do OSCP. Why? Because my friend is did OSCP. So here the problem is Shiv is no what we seen in last 10 years. People follow passion and they know that okay, passion will definitely give return in form of fruits. But today
Yeah.
people are basically fond of money. They want short success. In short span of
Yes.
time they need a success. And I completely agree with that. They always have that kind of a thought process. So here if you clear, so that's what I'm telling you. Now you are a fresher, you don't know na. I never thought okay I will become a GRC consultant. You never thought you become OT security consultant, but at least we have spent time in CISSP, we got the visibility. So why I'm talking about this fact is before you finalize, okay, that I want my passion is pen testing. First explore pen testing. Check high level. Okay, give 1 month to pen testing. Give 1 month to SOC. Give 1 month to GRC. See what is important for you, what you like. Instead
Yeah.
of following Shiv, instead of following Prab and get into the OT security or GRC. So my first point is basically review the security plus content, get the visibility about the entire security, and then once you're done with the security aspects and all that, you automatically get a visibility in which domain your interest is there. So by this way, you get a visibility. Okay, my target role is now become a pen tester. I'm very clear. I want to become a pen tester because I can see in 1 month I love problem solving skills. I'm good. Now, question: okay, now you have a desired state to become a pen tester. Now, current state is what? So this is basically the point you're talking about. Build a portfolio. To become a pen tester, you would do the hunting. You have to do hunting. You cannot trust me. You cannot trust Shiv. You cannot trust any YouTuber. You can use as a reference framework, but you cannot blindly follow one particular mentor for that. So then you have to do your research. Okay, which companies are hiring the pen tester? What is the skill set they are looking for a pen tester? Build a portfolio around that. Okay, for pen tester, one programming knowledge is required: Ruby, Python, Perl. Should be familiar with the pen testing concepts and all that. So now you build the portfolio. Sorry, build the skill set. Now you start learning those skill sets. Okay, Prab, how to get a first job? That's why you start contributing the inputs in the GitHub and other community projects. Attend the webinars, seminars of DEF CONs and Black Hat if you can able to do that. Okay, join your local conferences on offense securities. Then, Prab, how to get a first job? Because whenever I apply for a job, they will say, you don't have experience?" Fine. In the CV mentioned as a freelancer. But Prab, even if I mention the freelancer, they will ask me some practical. This is the catch we have. This is basically where the people resist themselves. So what you do, simple is build a small lab at home. VMware install the Windows
Yeah.
OS and do the pen testing. And whatever you'll prepare the pen test report. By end of the day, Shiv, correct me if I'm wrong. HR or interviewer asks a question from that area only, right? How to write a reports.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, how you
Yeah.
pen test. So create your own local lab, do the pen testing, prepare the report, think like you're working for the company. Because in the company also do the same thing. So when you run actual Nmap instead of theory, you will get to know, okay, while doing this Nmap with sin scan or null scan, we see this kind of error. So that practicality you can document as a freelance project. Okay.
Absolutely
So in the
correct.
CV you
Yeah.
can mention. And then opt-in certification is not mandatory. I've seen a lot of instructors nowadays selling CISSP. I never promote, okay, you must do CISSP to get a job. CISSP will never give you a job. Even it help you to shortlist a CV, but it will not help you to get a job, because by end of the day, people like me on the interview side, okay, people like Shiv, if they're going to shortlist you based on a certification, the next level is interview questions. And by the interview question, we get to know, okay, how much you know about the topics. So first, please, please, please don't get influenced with some trainer or consultant saying the CISSP changed my life. Definitely changes life. CISSP is basically good for to get a job. It will not give you direct job. You have to complete the certification. It helps you to filter the CV. Not next important thing. Prab, I applied for a lot of jobs and all that doesn't work. Who told you directly apply from the website? First, if you find some opening in ABC company, find an employee who working in the ABC through the LinkedIn, send the connection request, and then forward the CV to him. When he forward your CV, there's a more chance to get your CV shortlisted. And make sure you can basically use chat gpt or other references to build your CV if you're not good with the communication skills. Recently, with this success method, more than 5 to 6 people got a job. I myself helped them to get this job, and it is a free things. I only guide the same thing what I'm talking in this particular podcast. Same process shift. There's no different. Same
Yeah,
applicable in
yeah.
the SOC also. But make sure your CV should be good, presentable. It should reflect your experience. It reflect your skill set and all that.
It was very, very valid point, and I would like to share that recently when we are hiring freshers, so of course we can't expect uh, that they would be knowing a lot about the topic, but yeah, you need to demonstrate that you are passionate about cybersecurity. How would you do that? So we would typically ask that if you have done the free certification like CC from ISC, that will demonstrate that you are passionate
Knowledge.
about this, and it's
Hmm.
freely available, no investment of money, just the time and
Hmm.
the skill. And there is one
Hmm.
more from Google cybersecurity certificate, so it actually
No,
shows
that's
that
not free
this guy
actually.
is
Sorry,
having.
but it is paid. Yeah, it's paid.
Okay, so maybe it's paid, but yeah,
Google
you can
cybersecurity
attend the
training.
training,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
but for certification it might be paid. But yeah, so
yeah,
this is
yeah.
these kind of things actually help us, and when we interview people, it is different for the fresher, and it is different from for the experienced people, always different. But yeah, different kind of interviews have different mindset. I always tell this story that once I appeared for a very big PSU in India for a role of a scientist, senior scientist, and the question that this guy has asked me, and it was a cybersecurity role. This guy has asked me the question, do you know 9 components of Digital India program? So I was like laughing in the interview room itself that somebody is bringing the cybersecurity skill and you're asking what are the component of a government policy which is not related to cybersecurity. So these kind of things
Yes.
do happen, but yeah, you need to attempt maybe a number of interviews to ultimately find the success and be passionate. There is always a learning from the interviews as well. Some interviewer might
Hmm.
ask a question, you might not know the answer, but next time you'll go and then check what was this question and what was the answer. Yeah, that's how you fill the gap. Very valid point about certifications as well. uh, they are not necessary for finding this job, but yeah, shortlisting do help, specifically in case of experience role. If you have some certification now, now some people generally would write in their JDs that you should have this certification, that certification. It's only for removing those non-serious guys, but if you can demonstrate, put an additional note in your CV that I don't have the certification, but I can demonstrate my knowledge. Sometimes it can also help. I've seen extreme cases. Sometimes we get emails, and I get reached by different peoples on LinkedIn as well for different roles, and we do entertain these kind of things as well. And I'm sure different people at different organizations, they do entertain these kind of communications as well. We don't know where you will find that gem of a person who is really good in cybersecurity. So yeah, try your luck,
And there's
reach
no
out to people
perfections.
who are yes, there is no perfection, absolutely. I remember yesterday you mentioned that you are reading the ISO 27K standard for last 6 months
Yeah,
very
yeah,
religiously, and you still feel
yeah.
underconfident about that. So that's how the thing is. Like, you can never perfect that art overnight. And I am part of some of the standard development committees under ISA 62443, and it shows the time and effort that is being put up for designing that one set of standard by multiple people. How can one
Hmm.
person perfect in just one read? So it actually requires experience, correlation, contextualization. We do understand that nobody is going to ask you in the interview itself that do you are you perfect in 62443 implementation or ISO implementation or NIST implementation. Just you need to demonstrate how would you challenge yourself and show that creative part of your skill which is coming out of your experience.
And and
Yeah,
and there was a question was there, like, I don't think so that certification has any recognition in a hiring manager, depending upon the hiring manager aware about try hack me actually.
yeah, yeah. We get excited to say, yeah, somebody, Aji is saying that looking into LinkedIn profile of some colleagues or followers, we get excited to do certification and get confused on which way portfolio to concentrate, at least for beginners.
Shiv, I
That's
want to
true.
answer this
Uh,
question. I want to answer this question, please. Thank you, if possible.
yeah,
Because
sure.
I want to clear this mentality here. Mr. Aji, it's a very good question you have asked. If you ask about my certification, I have 30 plus certifications. Okay. See, I have a need, this demand my project. Okay. I have the capacity, I did that. Okay. But working in the production side that I don't want that certification. My profile is more like a consulting and trainer. That's what I'm doing. I'm just giving example. Now Shiv is basically CISSP. Okay. And now he doing a OT security. Okay. It doesn't mean, okay, he wants CSS to prove on LinkedIn. Okay. Yes, I did the CSSP. We have a superiority. So my suggestion is that everyone has their own life. Everyone has their own need. Don't get influenced. We have to see our pockets also. We have to see our necessity also. So in my case, I have my own life commitment. Shiv has her own life commitment. So you cannot influence by other, and that's why I said that okay, there's no perfections. If you bring perfections and in your life and all that, you get ruined easily. So you have to balance. I'm not telling you you have to study 4 hours. Even as a fresher, you spend 2 hours. The 2 hours should be quality hours. That's my suggestion. Yeah, over to you, Shiv. I'm sorry, Shiv, but because I thought because it was a back-to-back question I
No,
got also in
absolutely.
the DMs in LinkedIn,
Absolutely.
so that's why I want to recommend this part. Yeah,
No, absolutely. Okay. This is really valid question and valid answer. I'll just quickly show this one as well. Like, do companies recognize try hack me certification?
no, I don't think so. Try hack me. What the image they have created about try hack me is more like a lab for pet testing and all that.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh, it's not about even try hack me. Even you uploading a Udemy certification, there's no value to be frank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
because until
Yes.
unless it's just a training participation, there's no value. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
telling you. You that's a point. Figure out okay what is required for this role, which is I'm targeting. That's the most important part. I'm telling you one thing: 3 months, 2 hours a day, 8 hours a week, and in 3 months you will get your defined job. It's all about your priorities, how you set. Use target this as a project. In next 3 months, I want to get a job, and there's no, a good mentor is the one who sell you a skill. Okay, not certification. So when you uh, identify the mentor, okay, I'm not telling you follow me or follow Shiv. Follow anyone who giving you right advice. Even
Yeah.
there's a colleague in your office who is more senior to you, respect him because he had experience. Respect the experience because experience come from a skill. So that's the most important part.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mentorship is like that. There is no senior or junior. You can find
Exactly.
mentorship from anywhere. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if we have. Yeah, there is one more comment. Okay. Yeah. So this
It's
is the
already
one
solving
that
it.
you have already answered. Yeah.
Hmm.
Then I don't
Use
think
LinkedIn
we have.
effectively. That's my suggestion.
Yeah.
Those who are watching this video and those who are going to watch the recorded session, do LinkedIn effectively. Instead of using Facebook, use LinkedIn effectively. Share your work, what you know. Because today, if we talk about cybersecurity industry, if you are introvert, sorry, it is difficult for you to survive. I want to be very upfront. If you are introvert, difficult to survive. You have to be extrovert. You have to demonstrate your skills because in one job, more than 10, 15 people are applying the job. You cannot have a ego there. No, why should I demonstrate my things? Until unless you don't demonstrate your projects, until unless you don't demonstrate your work, you won't get the job. Sorry to say that because in last
Yeah.
10 years,
Yeah.
cybersecurity industry got changed. A lot of people are entering into cybersecurity because they got influence. So you have a more competition now. So until unless you don't demonstrate something, you're good in that, you won't get a job. I proudly
Yeah.
say myself, until I don't started YouTube channel, I don't get the recognition. I started YouTube channel, I start sharing my content there. That is how I got the things. So that's my suggestion. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, actually, it's the marketing is very important part of how would
Yes.
people know, and we have a free platform available where you can actually reach out to across the globe. People will see you, and if they really
Mhm.
do like their work, then there would be appreciation and will actually help you finding a job.
Yeah.
And I do see a lot many people are getting influenced, and they are taking this direction of actually sharing. And sometimes over the time when you share the content or maybe resharing the content of somebody else, it actually gives you also the perspective and the understanding about that particular topic. So very very valid point that do share this platform wisely. I think Anita has answered the question asked by Aji as well, that companies might ask the advanced certification, but the knowledge needed is from the basics that we do learn. And of course, the most of the time when people fail in the certification is also because of the lack of that knowledge and the basic understanding. You would not be able to interpret the question in the exam, and this will cause issues. Like one of the issue, not the sole issue of not having the understanding. Okay, so there is one more question. Any recommendation to learn log analysis for various devices?
Very good question,
Yeah,
actually.
so
So
this is
you
the
want to
same.
go for it?
This, maybe this is your forte because you teach and you might know
Yeah.
those things
Yeah.
quickly. So
So
maybe pick your brain.
whoever basically asked this question, there's a lot of websites are there which basically give you the dump logs. Now, two things are there. You want to learn how to investigate. So we have a dump logs. You know, we have one website. I forget the name, but there's a website which basically dump the. They maintain the sample of all the malware log website. If you type, you will get that information. So they basically have a dummy logs, and some have a real data logs that you can download and you can investigate on that. So that's something can be used for your log analysis.
Okay, yeah. Also, you can use on Git repo. There are some already available pcaps
Hmm.
if you are targeting something from OT side. There are pcaps available of
Pika
different
files, yeah.
network communications. Yeah, and you can actually use those for analyzing either through your sim solution or maybe through your uh, Wireshark, or there are other solutions available, Clarity, Nozomi, Tenable OT. They do deep packet analysis, and this additional information could be helpful in learning the the logs about the devices, what kind of the communication and the payload that is flowing on the network. Okay, somebody is asking what is the name of the website to ask the log.
It's
Maybe
called pcap logs and all that. I will just share that.
okay, all right. Okay, so let's quickly get to the last slide of the day, maybe. And we are also nearing the end of the hour.
So, so there is a website. It's called as a Archnautics. Okay, so that's something you can check, which is basically having a lot of pcap files. Yeah, go ahead. ARACRNOIS.com. Arconis.com. Yeah.
Okay. So now we have already discussed the challenges. I think hands-on
Mhm.
practice is most important, and that's how you will be more effective in finding a job. You can actually build your own lab at home. There are free virtual machines available. Use your available resource wisely to build a lab, and sometimes now you don't even need your compute power in your local laptop. You can actually use free cloud resources available from Google and AWS. They do give you ready-made machines. Upload your
Mhm.
logs, understand, maybe put up a bunch of machine, try to scan each other, and then it will give you additional information about the system. There is one more question before we wind up, Prab. This is about
Yeah.
few skills to consider in excelling security architect role. I think this is exactly the one that you put up in that one slider.
So
Yeah.
few skill to consider excelling
So the
security architect. Yeah. So yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead, Shiv.
for yeah, so we're saying that Though it looks like a question from your slide, but yeah, let's answer it, and then maybe I can share that link in the comment box
Hmm,
about these skills that
hmm,
are required. So the architect role needs to understand. So there could be n number of architect role. There could be a cloud architect. There could be a software architect. First, you need to understand which is your area that you want to focus on. If you are a
hmm.
software architect, then you need to understand the secure coding very well, like what would be the area that you will be focusing for coding, and also secure architecture design concepts. What is defense in depth, what is the boundaries, zone protection, the perimeter, the tpms, or security enclaves, those kind of things, and the resources and the certifications which are available. There is a concentration from CISSP side, which is an advanced certificate you can do. And on the other knowledge side, I think n number of books are available. I don't readily recall the name of the books, but yeah, you can actually refer
So,
some resources.
so
Yeah.
two, three recommendation from my side. First, you can check the Open Security Architecture. Whoever, Sudhanshu, Open Security Architecture is a website. Open Security Pattern is a website where you also get the visibility about the security architect. Okay. For security architect, the most important part is process mapping. You should be good with process mapping. Okay. And if you're looking for further career perspective from a job, then definitely SAPSA or TOGAF can be the one. But again, before moving to that, you really need to understand how the actual architect works. You cannot simply say that, okay, integrating the strategy with program is an architect. So you should be clear with modeling, you should be clear with data flow diagrams, you should be clear with data modeling structures, you should be clear with process modeling structures. So that is there. So you can
Right.
check that, Sudhanshu. And then Open Security Architecture website or Open Security Pattern, these are the websites you can check to enhance your skills in the architect side. Again, so this is the same question. I think Shiv, there's a guy who has raised a question
Yeah.
on for SOC analysts. Guys, again, this is the thing we are doing from last 1 hour. As a fresher, don't aim for certification. First aim for skill. First enhance your
Yeah.
skill, because based on a skill only you will get a job. Okay, we have a very good um we have a we have a we have a lot of good managers who basically check the CVs where they look for the.
Mhm.
See, if you get a very tough manager, he will basically make a left and right when it asks the questions. Okay, so definitely the certifications are worth, CYSA, CH is worth, but see your budget also. You should not aim for certification on first level. You need to aim for the skill. So what first you have to do research. Okay, lot of companies are hiring a pen testers. Lot of companies are hiring a SOC people. Okay, now in the SOC also, Shiv, I want to take 2 minutes extra on that. Now in SOC things have got changed actually. Whoever basically shares this now, 10 years back, if you are a Wireshark guy, if you know Windows, they will give you job. But now today, if we're talking about in a SOC also, they're asking for the programming, because now we have a new concept which is called as a SOC detection engineering. So in the SOC detection engineering, you need to know the programming, you need to know the scripting, you need to know rule engines and all that. So SOC analysts demand got changed now. So their skill set, their profile, their validations got changed. Okay, it is not the same like SOC we used to have 5 years back. So that's why you have to see the current JD requirement. What is the kind of current JD is happening, and according to that, you need to plan your things. Because now in the SOC we have a DFIR, we have a threat huntings. So things got changed now. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I started answering, and then he corrected the question. Do you recommend CompTIA, CI, SNEC Council, CSA for
Definitely, you
SOC
can do
analysis?
that
Yeah.
again, but you're limited
Yeah.
to one vendor. Please understand this.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
very good
Yeah.
thing, but you're limited to one vendor. Please understand that. That's the most important part. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we have covered more or less, and this is the end note from you, Prab, that cybersecurity needs both
Yeah.
skill and thinking. Skills can help, but smart thinking wins. This is coming from your experience directly. I can vouch for that. What would you like to add at the end note for this session? I really learned a bunch of things in this session, and I think discounting the broadcast issue, I really feel that there is some good active participation, and people are demanding for the recording, and they will get benefit out of the recording either on YouTube or LinkedIn live restreams. What would you like to add as the end thought over here, Prab?
Keep it simple. Don't get influenced. What you know, what you have in your bucket, first check that instead of getting into someone else's bucket. Third, when you are a fresher, huh? Whoever basically asked this question on recommend CompTIA CYSA or EC Council, before that, check the Udemy videos. In Udemy, we have a lot of people who have uploaded a very good content. They are actually uh, people who are a practical consultant and they have uploaded the video. So I highly recommend check some of the Udemy videos on architect side, pen testing sites, and all that. Okay, which give you a great insight. And keep it simple. Don't get influence. Okay, process take time, but it give you great results. When I got CISSP, I was unemployed for 2 years because in industry people don't know about CISSP in India. Okay, so now I'm doing law. I'm doing something else, which is basically my next 10-year plan. So it's not necessary what you're doing right now. You will get us immediate results. You have to wait. Be clear with your concept. Concept is very important. That's it.
Okay, yeah, so that brings to the end of this discussion. I think this was quite a useful. I am also seeing some comments. People are really appreciating, and this session could be a myth busting session for the people who are looking into cybersecurity. So thanks a lot, Pub, for joining us today here on OT Security Huddle. I look forward to more interaction, focused discussion. People do require this kind of mentorship session to transition into cybersecurity career, not only the freshers but also the mid-career guys. So thanks again, and I really would look forward to further discussions.
Thank you, Shiv. Thank you so much for this platform and thanks for this opportunity. I'm glad that I am able to contribute something in this community, and we're looking forward for more sessions like that. That is completely depending upon the people's comments and all that.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is
Thank you.
absolutely wonderful. So thank you. Thanks again, guys, who have joined online. And sorry for this broadcast issue. I think it's from Restream side. I have checked the connection. It is having good connectivity at my side. But yeah, you can go ahead and watch the recordings which are available. Thank you all for joining today. And I'll see you again in next episode. Have a very good rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you.